One of the greatest baseball players in American baseball history, Babe Ruth was born as George Herman Ruth in Baltimore, Maryland on February 6, 1895. At a young age, Ruth was a troublemaking child due to having a neglected childhood. Because of his reckless behavior, Babe was put into disciplinary school, and soon after, his father died. While missing a father figure, one of his mentors took on that role. Shortly after he caught a liking to baseball and became a natural at it, he became his school's best pitcher and hitter. After a while, Ruth's skill in baseball caught the attention of Jack Dunn, the owner of the Baltimore Orioles. Dunn became his legal guardian and signed him to a $600 contract. Ruth acquired this nickname Babe when a sports writer referred to him as one of Dunn's babes. Soon, the name Babe Ruth was heard by many and a new man was born. His skill as a pitcher was so impressive that Dunn sold him to the American League Boston Red Sox for $2,900. Soon he became the best left-handed pitcher in baseball and led the Red Sox to 3 championships. Later, Red Sox owner Harry Frazee needed money to pay off his debts, so he decided to sell Ruth to the New York Yankees for $125,000. Ruth became the full-time outfielder and his team won 4 World Series titles and 7 pennants over the next 15 seasons. When Ruth was with the Red Sox, he set a single-season home run record of 29. He also acquired another nickname, the Sultan of Swat, which he got by hitting over 40 homers in 11 seasons and even 60 in one season. In his career, he hit 714 home runs, the most home runs hit in a single career in baseball history.
Does Babe Ruth represent a turning point in American history?
Babe Ruth definitely represents a turning point in American history, largely because prior to Babe Ruth, baseball had always existed, but there was a huge following for horse racing, a lot of sports betting and things on that. Babe Ruth brought the celebrity concept to sports, and the way he transformed the way people enjoyed, celebrated, and participated in baseball has changed the game forever. And he also was really one of the first players to become not just an icon in his sport, but a national icon, sort of symbolizing the grandness of America.
What did people think about Babe Ruth at the time?
People's opinions on Babe Ruth at the time were mixed. A lot of sort of everyday folks really liked Babe Ruth. They thought it was great the way he was swinging for the fences, and in some respects it even reflected the financial interests of the time and the investments in the stock markets. People were really going for broke, and that was very appealing to a lot of people. Now, other people who were more traditionalists didn't favor the way that Babe Ruth played the game. People like Ty Cobb thought he was a fat slob and thought that hitting home runs was unremarkable, sort of the most base version of baseball. So on the whole, in the aggregate, he was definitely well received and a celebrity, but there was certainly a portion of society that wasn't ready for the type of game that Babe Ruth was playing.
Ruth also revolutionized the style that baseball was played with. Rather than choke hitting, Ruth used a heavy bat and used his body weight and wrist leverage to power the ball. He popularized the explosive, decisive, high-scoring game of the home run. Eventually, Ruth retired playing, and he became a team manager for the Braves. He finally decided to play one last game at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh, and he hit 3 home runs. After that, he officially retired and became first of the 5 players inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1936. In 1946, Ruth developed throat cancer and in 1947 had to undergo surgery for his cancer. That same year, Babe Ruth Day was celebrated on June 13, 1948, and Ruth made his final appearance at the Yankee Stadium. He gave his final speech, saying thanks to all that supported him and a goodbye to everybody. 2 months later, on August 16, 1948, Babe Ruth died and he was given a funeral in the Yankee Stadium where over 100,000 people passed by his bier. Ruth not only changed the game but popularized the game of almost any sport to which almost anyone had a chance to become a somebody. Baseball has forever changed because of him, and his legacy will always be remembered.